Governments call them experiments. The people inside called them something else. These are 10 real cases. Human beings used as test subjects by their own governments, scientists, men with degrees and funding. This is what they did. Number 10. Nazi human experiments. Auschwitz, 1943. Trains arrived daily. Dr. Josef Mengele stood at the end of the platform, smiling, pointing left or right. Left meant the gas chambers. Right meant his laboratory. Mengele had one obsession: twins. He separated them from their families the moment they arrived. What happened next was called science. Inside Block 10, he measured every inch of their bodies, injected unknown substances into their eyes, infected twins with diseases deliberately, sewed children together, removed organs without anesthesia. This lasted 2 years. At the Nuremberg doctors' trial, 23 Nazi doctors faced justice. Mengele was not among them. He fled to Brazil. He lived freely until 1979, never punished, not once. Number 9. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study, Alabama, 1932. The U.S. Public Health Service offered 399 poor black sharecroppers free medical care, free meals, free burial insurance. They never told them they already had syphilis. When penicillin became the standard cure in 1943, the men were deliberately kept away from it. The study needed them sick. This continued for 40 years. By 1972, only 74 of the 399 men were still alive. 28 died of syphilis directly. 40 wives infected. 19 children born with the disease. The study only ended when a whistleblower leaked it to the press. Peter Buxton had been raising concerns since 1966. Nobody listened. In 1972, he leaked the files to journalist Jean Heller. When the story broke, America was horrified. The damage to trust between Black Americans and the medical establishment has never fully healed. Number 8. Unit 731. In 1935, the Japanese Imperial Army built a secret facility in Manchuria, China. Publicly, it was called the Epidemic Prevention and Water Supply Unit. Its real purpose was biological warfare. On human beings, an estimated 250,000 people passed through. They were called maruta, logs. They were considered not human, and they were treated accordingly. Prisoners were cut open alive without anesthesia, limbs amputated and reattached to different parts of the body. People infected with plague and anthrax, limbs deliberately frozen and thawed. Grenades tested on living humans. Before Japan surrendered, the facility was demolished and all prisoners executed. But the U.S. government made a deal: immunity from war crimes in exchange for the research data. The men of Unit 731 were never tried. Number 7. CIA mkultra, 1953. The CIA believed the Soviets had developed mind control technology, so they built their own program, Project mkultra. The goal was to control the human mind, whatever it took. Unwitting American citizens were dosed with LSD. Soldiers, students, mental patients, prisoners, some for weeks, some for months. Researchers watched through one-way mirrors and took notes. CIA scientist. Frank Olson was secretly dosed in 1953. 9 days later, he fell from a 13th floor window. The CIA called it suicide. His family called it murder. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all mkultra files destroyed. In 1977, a cache of 20,000 documents was found by accident. Senate hearings revealed the full scope. Nobody was ever charged. The full program remains partially classified today. Number 6. The Guatemala Syphilis Experiments. John Charles Cutler ran the Tuskegee study. In 1946, the U.S. sent him to Guatemala. His mission was to deliberately infect people with sexually transmitted diseases. The Guatemalan government cooperated. The 1,300 prisoners, soldiers, and mental patients used did not. Infections were delivered through direct inoculation. Bacteria poured onto abraded skin, sometimes through spinal punctures, hidden for 57 years. Discovered in 2005 when a historian found Cutler's files after his death. Obama called Guatemala to apologize. Cutler died in 2003. He never faced a single consequence. Number 5. The Soviet Poison Laboratory. The KGB ran a secret underground poison lab called the Chamber, confirmed only after the Soviet Union collapsed. Prisoners sentenced to death were brought in, told they were receiving medicine, given food laced with experimental poisons. Researchers documented how long each poison took to kill. In 1978, Bulgarian dissident Georgy Markov walked across Waterloo Bridge in London. A man with an umbrella fired a tiny ricin pellet into his leg. He died 3 days later. The poison came from the chamber. Number 4. The Stanford Prison Experiment. August 1971. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo recruited 24 college students, randomly split into guards and prisoners in a fake basement prison, supposed to last 14 days. Within 24 hours, the guards had begun psychologically torturing the prisoners. Nobody told them to. They just became the role. Zimbardo himself stopped seeing students. He saw himself as the warden. His girlfriend visited the basement and screamed at him to stop. It ended after 6 days. It changed how the world understood human nature forever. Number 3. Operation Sea Spray, September 1950. The U.S. Army secretly sprayed the entire city of San Francisco with bacteria from naval vessels offshore for 6 days. 800,000 residents went about their lives breathing it in. None of them knew. Edward Nevin became severely ill with a rare infection and died. His family sued. The case was dismissed. Operation Sea Spray was one of at least 239 secret tests the U.S. military conducted on American cities between 1949 and 1969. Number 2. The Monster Study. Iowa, 1939. Dr. Wendell Johnson took 22 orphan children who spoke normally and deliberately tried to give them a stutter. Half were subjected to constant criticism every time they spoke. Several developed speech problems that lasted the rest of their lives, hidden for over 60 years. The University of Iowa apologized in 2001. The damage never fully healed. Number 1. Willowbrook, Staten Island, New York, 1956. The Willowbrook State School for Children with Intellectual Disabilities was severely overcrowded. Hepatitis was rampant. Dr. Saul Krugman deliberately infected 700 children aged 5 to 10 with hepatitis. Parents were told their child would receive better care if they signed the forms. The children were infected through contaminated food. Some became lifelong carriers with permanent liver damage. Krugman defended the experiments until the day he died. The school was shut down in 1987. 10 experiments. 10 governments or institutions that decided certain lives were expendable. Share this. Some stories need to be louder.